We will get into the latest report around DeMar DeRozan just in a second, but these three guys have really upped their game over the past couple of nights for the Chicago Bulls, and maybe we have a new young big three forming in Chicago. So if you guys think so, drop a like on today's video, see if we can get 200 likes. Support the love, or show some love for the new big three here in Chicago. What's going on, guys? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, does DeMar DeRozan want out of Chicago? An NFL insider or NBA insider for The Athletic reported that he has two teams he is interested in, and then, like I said at the top of the show, is there a new big three forming in Chicago? We'll go over some stats around Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu, and especially Coby White, because without Zach LaVine in the lineup, those three have really upped their game. Let's dive into what Sam Amick of The Athletic had to say about the latest DeMar DeRozan trade rumors. He said, when it comes to possible destinations, the Heat and Knicks are known to be preferred to DeRozan if he winds up getting moved. And my overall take with kind of where we stand right now with DeMar DeRozan is I'm kind of torn because he is really having a really solid year. He's kind of shown some self-awareness this offseason where he said, hey, I'm going to look at where the modern day NBA game is going. I'm going to change my game. I'm going to incorporate more three-point shooting. Yes, a lot of those do come from the corner, which is obviously shorter part of the three-point line, but he's definitely shown some self-awareness. And also the last two nights, he has really shown a kind of, I'm going to take a back seat approach to Coby White, who's really upped his game. So I'm really torn on DeMar, but it's obviously going to come down to what you can get. And I do think a team will get desperate. I think DeMar DeRozan's one of those guys late in the shot clock, game 5, game 6, Game 7 in NBA playoff series where you can throw him the ball, he can make the right read, or either just get to a spot and rise up and hit a jumper. I'm a big fan of the way DeMar's, been playing this year, and he's kind of shown that, sort of veteran prowess in his NBA game this year. But the numbers are actually pretty solid. And, he's always been an underrated playmaker, in my opinion. Just under 5 assists a game this year, 21.5 points per night, and the field goal percentage, really solid again. Obviously, he actually hasn't been hitting his pull-up midi as efficiently as he has in years past, but it's 3-point percentage, man. If you're getting 37.5 from downtown from DeMar, you'll take that any day of the week. But the two teams that were mentioned, it was the Miami Heat and New York Knicks. This was a Chat Sports trade idea me and my man Rolly cooked up, and it was DeMar DeRozan for 2 first-round picks from the Miami Heat and Kyle Lowry. Now, listen, don't know if the Heat would obviously do this because DeMar is on a 1-year expiring deal, but what has been the biggest issue for the Heat over the past couple of years? They need that kind of next secondary scorer next to Jimmy Butler because we have seen it. Jimmy, he's in incredible shape, but once we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, the NBA Finals, he kind of takes a step back. Adding a guy like DeMar from the Heat side of things, I don't know. I think it would be a great move for them, but I do think this would be a steal for the Bulls. Obviously, he is on a 1-year deal. You're getting 2 first-round picks. You're getting a point guard in Kyle Lowry, which I wonder if the Bulls would buy him out in that situation just to continue the development of a guy like Coby White and obviously Ayo Dosunmu, which we'll dive into those two guys in a second. But overall, I think this would be a steal from the Bulls side of things. Getting 2 first-round picks for a guy on an expiring deal. I would take that any day of the week. But let me know, would you accept this trade? Obviously, with DeMar DeRozan playing good ball this year, maybe some of you guys disagree. Give me an A for accept, D for decline down in the comments section. DeMar DeRozan for Kyle Lowry and a 2027 first-round pick and a 2029 first-round pick. Let me know your thoughts down below. Coming up in just a second, do the Bulls have a new big three forming, or at least a young core that we can kind of, all buy into here in Chicago? But I do want to tell you guys about PrizePicks, today's sponsor of today's edition of the Bulls Report. And if you guys head to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use code CLNS, you'll get a first deposit match up to $100. It's daily fantasy, and it's made easy. How do you play? All you got to do is pick 2 or more players, then you're going to choose more or less on their projected stat types. You guys can start seeing the cash roll in today. It's easy and exciting daily fantasy. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Make sure you guys use that promo code CLNS. You'll get a first deposit match up to $100. And the link for that will be in the comment section and description of today's show. PrizePicks even makes the boring games a lot more interesting. Make sure you guys do get hooked up today. So a new big three forming in Chicago. That's what we're diving into right now because these 3 guys have really upped their game. It's obviously Zach LaVine out of the lineup. Overall, the Bulls' offense has just had, more synergy when LaVine's out because he is kind of that dark hole with the basketball where you throw it to him, and he's an incredibly talented offensive player, but he does stop the flow of the offense a lot of times because it is a lot of high pick and roll with him, or it's a lot of just wing isolations, which obviously just stops the movement and the free-flowing nature of an NBA offense. But the biggest name that I think has stepped up the most is Coby White. And listen, overall, his numbers for the year are actually pretty solid. I mean, 15 points a night, 4 rebounds a night, 3.1 assists, and the efficiency very, very solid. It's actually the three-point shot that I've been most impressed with from his standpoint. But 42.7% from the deck, 40.3 percentage from downtown, and his catch and shoot, very solid. He's been hitting them like crazy, especially as of late, 40.7%. But the one game that I want to lock into here real quick is the game against the New Orleans Pelicans. The dude was 8 of 13 from downtown and was just an overall kind of menace defensively too. Like, that was the one thing that stood out to me for Coby White, was he was up in his defensive game. You know, obviously once you are hitting shots as an offensive player, you're going to be a little more locked in defensively. It's just kind of the nature of being a basketball player. But he has developed the most without LaVine out, and that's always why I'm at this standpoint, at this take. Move LaVine as soon as you can. I'm happy he's out with right foot soreness, whatever that means, because listen, he's just been off, and he's been off this whole year, and it's just not kind of the best game from him in terms of just LaVine being an overall winner on the basketball floor. So listen, I think Coby White, if he can continue to up his game, just overall up his development, he can be great for the Bulls. But there is another guard for the Bulls that obviously has upped his game, and that's Ayo Dosunmu. He's been playing great, man. 14.5 points a night, 12 of 17 from the field over the past 2 games, and he's been diamond too. Like, listen, we thought Coby White was going to up his playmaking ability this year. That's who I wanted to kind of take on that role, but it's been Ayo off the bench, giving 6 rebounds a night too. And my overall take with Ayo, he's a great role player, man. He really reminds me of a Bruce Brown type of guy. It's just going to come down to hitting open threes in the playoffs. Kevin O'Connor, another guy out of the Athletic, compared him to Bruce Brown this offseason. So Ayo, great role player, a great guard to just have off the bench because he makes winning plays. I always like the guys that win in college and they come in the NBA and they just play winning basketball. I mean, we see it with guys from Villanova all the time. So Ayo, great role player, love the way he's playing. Now let's focus in on this guy. He had a atrocious start to this season, Patrick Williams. But right now, he's kind of up the scoring output a little bit. He's just been playing a lot better and playing with more confidence. I mean, after the Bucks game, he dunked on Bobby Portis, and he was licking his fingertips after. I've never seen that much emotion come out of number 44. But, hey, the field goal percentage actually going up. I mean, if you guys remember, the field goal percentage was around 30, three-point around 25. So he's obviously, upped his game a lot lately, only playing 25 minutes a night. But I'm not giving up yet. I see it with him still. Like, he'll have these flashes where he'll hit a crossover, pull up midi. I'm like, dude, he looks like a young Kawhi Leonard. But then he'll have games where he'll just be disengaged. He won't be engaged in offense, just won't be fully involved on that side of things. But I'm not giving you up yet. I really do think we have something there in these 3 young players. Don't know how high their ceilings are, but I think they got 3 winning basketball players here in Chicago. And I want to ask you guys this to close out today's show. Are you optimistic about the Bulls' future? Because I will say it was looking like a lot of just negativity around Bulls fans, Bulls media as of lately, but I think it's turned around a little bit, especially after the past 2 nights. So Y for yes, N for no, if you're optimistic about the Bulls' future. As always, give me a follow on Twitter, @PatSieps is the Twitter handle. Thank you guys so much for watching today's edition of the Bulls Report. See you guys next time. Go Bulls.